What's up, guys? Welcome to today's What's Cooking Good Looking. And today I'm going to be making salmon fillet, honey herb Dijon salmon with a medley of vegetables. And for me, I like to cook to an extent, but for me, what's more important is it to be cheap, healthy, quick to prepare, and minimal cleanup. So I'm going to show you the steps I take to get through all this. All right, so we're going to be roasting the vegetables. So take any sort of pan with tall sides and throw some olive oil in there, or I prefer olive oil, but any sort of oil will work. And from there, just want to take whatever vegetables you choose. I kind of like to get my greens and everything in, so I got like a medley of broccoli and cauliflower and carrots. So just throw it in there. And then also here I have some sliced mushrooms. These brown up really nicely in the oven, and all the flavors kind of melt together to make a nice bed for the salmon. So, just kind of grab a nice healthy handful of those, and it ends up looking like this. It's not too important that there's not oil covering it, because these vegetables aren't going to burn, because they are pretty have a lot of liquid inside of them anyways. So to season that, should grab my salt and pepper. Throw in a healthy amount of salt. It's got probably about 3 pinches or so, and then crack some pepper on top. Each person's taste is different, so I'm not going to tell you how much to do, but you can play it by ear. And then the next step is you want to heat your oven to 375. I already preheated mine, so it'd be easier. And what's very nice and simple about this recipe is that the vegetables and the salmon cook at the same temperature for about the same amount of time. So here I have my herb Dijon salmon, which I bought at Trader Joe's. And one thing about fish, you want to really avoid any sort of fish that you see coming from China or even factory farms in America. And that's not as common with salmon, but a lot of tilapia is prepared that way and raised that way, and that's really bad for the environment and also just for your own health. It's not good, because think about it. If fish is in a factory environment with a lot of pesticides and everything, you're going to be consuming those pesticides. So you want to avoid that type of stuff. So salmon, you kind of think about it a little less, but for tilapia, watch out. And then for the salmon, it's very simple. Like I said, I like to minimize cleanup, so I'm going to get a nice sheet of tin foil. Just get the salmon right out of there. As you can see, there's a nice crust of Dijon and herb on that, so this is going to be a nice tasting fillet. So now we're at this step. Very, very simple. You want to cover the salmon, fold it over, so you can keep all the juices inside. So otherwise, you might end up having a dry salmon, and there's nothing worse than a dry salmon. So what I like to do is kind of just fold it up like a little envelope or a little whatever you want it. And then at this point, you are all prepared to stick it in the oven. Like I said, I don't care about all the fancy preparing everything. If I can, I want something to be able to be in and out of the preparation stage under 5-10 minutes. So just stick it in here, top shelf, salmon right next to it. Close it up. And then you want to wait about 10 minutes. I will give you guys an update in about 10. Now let's see how the salmon and vegetables turned out. As you can see, it's a good sign. The vegetables look slightly brown at the ends. This means that they'll be tender, they won't be too mushy. That's one of the advantages of using an oven. So these look great. Now the coupe de gras, the salmon. Alright, so here's the big moment. Okay. So now, to know if your salmon is fully prepared, it wants to be a very light pinkish color all throughout. Typically, when you undercook salmon, it's very red. It's almost like a red, almost like this color, kind of a beet red, maroon, and that's not good because you really want to cook fish just to minimize the chance of any sort of microbes or bacteria inside. So here, let's have a look on what this looks like inside. That's perfect. That's the exact pink color you want with your salmon. Great. So now, the final step of the process, the most important step of the process if you're having a special someone over, is the plating. So when you're plating salmon, you really have a couple options. You can use the vegetables as a bed, and when you use the vegetables as a bed, it looks very classy. It's good for vegetables that are more kind of uniform. But with vegetables such as these, they're kind of more awkwardly shaped, so the bed isn't necessarily a good idea. So for me, I think the best way to do this is put the vegetables on one side. Make sure to get all the oils inside. A lot of people tend to avoid the oils, but that's where all the flavor is. I like to drip my oils right on top of my vegetables. And the second step is the salmon. So here, all you gotta do is just get right under it. Spatula probably helps. Get right under it. Put it right next to the vegetables. And also a good addition to any sort of salmon dish is a lemon to squeeze on before you eat. So then stick a lemon right there, and you've created yourself a beautiful, healthy meal in around 5 minutes preparation, 10 minutes cooking. Here you go. So that was your meal for the day. Tune in next week for another simple recipe.